and my microphone. There we go. Alrighty, and welcome back. All the buttons weren't working on my stream deck, but we're all good. We are going. Hopefully, just trying to figure out there at the last second, just trying to double check on how to say someone's name there. It's a little difficult. We'll give it our best shot. But either way, we have a Nexus Gaming Series matchup on our hands here. On the left-hand side, we have Modo Gaming, and on the right, we have Misfit Island. Right away on Dragonshire, we're going to have a ban here on Stukov, so it looks like they're not going to want to be dealing with that during this matchup here. There's one thing I forgot to check, so I just want to do that really quickly before we go into this stream. Checked everything but the one. All right, so levels on that look good. We should be fine with everything else. So hi, welcome. I am Bahamut, your caster this evening. Hopefully you guys are having a great night, maybe grabbing a cocktail for these couple matchups. Man, I can't even speak. Either way, though, ban-wise, we didn't talk about crowns, but either way, looks like we should be able to deal with that. Either way, it looks like we're gonna have a first pick Garrosh out of Modo Gaming. Looks like they're figuring that out in chat. My mistake. The one thing I forgot to do is check the crowns. I made sure that our server was on Central. That was the key thing. I got that one on spot. Now that Garrosh is really, really good. There's a lot of just. It's a lot like an ATC. He's got a lot of versatility. There's a lot in his kit that he can kind of adjust as the matchups go. Further down these drafts, so I really, really like this first pick Garrosh here. ETC is honestly still on the table, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see it as a priority on the side of Misfit Island here. Realistically, picking up like an ETC Rhaegar or an ETC even Morales here is pretty strong, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see that going into the before they go to the ban phase here. They don't really show too much of their draft, and I think it's a safe pick overall. They go for the ETC and they go for the Vala instead. Not bad at all. It looks like they're going to just hold off on that healer. And before we go into this ban phase, we're going to get these last two pickups on the side of Modo Gaming here. What are they going to be taking? They have the Garrosh, which that's, solid tank. They could go... Trying to think what's going to pair well into that. The repositioning is going to throw them into the back line. Honestly, like a Greymane here or an Alarak wouldn't be a horrible idea. Both of those heroes are pretty strong. Maybe you save the Alarak into the later half of the draft. Maybe put him as that solo laner potentially. We will see. But a Greymane here with a Rhaegar or an Uther. The Uther would actually be interesting. Maybe even a Malfurion. But I'm definitely thinking that it's going to be some sort of melee damage along with a support. And the combo from Garrosh, I think the Uther Stun will be beneficial. But it looks like they're going to go into the Rhaegar for the bounce heal from the chain and Dahaka for the solo lane. Not bad at all. They're really not showing too much of their draft on the side of Modo Gaming here. I like that. I mean, it's a strong global on this map. It works in the solo lane. I mean, overall, Modo Gaming, they have a strong start to their composition here. And same thing on the side of Misfit Island. The Vala is going to lend a lot of damage. I'm assuming it's going to be a Hungering Arrow build for that high burst onto the Garrosh to Hawk. I mean, just the solo target damage is really, really powerful from her. And then ETC just overall is just a very, very strong tank. Now, the question is, what are we going to be seeing... Ban-wise, I mean, looking at the composition of Modo Gaming, I would look to ban out. You're going to need... Okay, so there's the Greymane. I was going to say, you could go into some melee damage here or some range, even a spellcaster. I mean, the draft on the side of Modo Gaming doesn't show a lot, and I keep saying this because the fact that it's just, at this point, there's so many assassins in the game. I mean, just look at the last, like, year and a half of releases. It's just like, tank, 3 assassins. Specialist, 3 assassins. Support, another support. But either way, like, there's just a lot of assassins that have been coming out. So targeting these down, especially with versatile heroes like Greymane, it's just a very good broad kind of ban. It's like, well, it works with their composition, and we don't want to go up against it. So overall, I really, really like that on the side of Misfit Island. I wouldn't be too surprised, though, to see a support choke coming out from Modo Gaming. They're probably going to be all set with their Rhaegar. I don't expect them to go into a secondary. They could go for like a hyper carry, but they're going to go ahead and ban out the Tassadar, which it pairs well with the Vala. It would work well on this map. The vision would be very good for the rotations. The force walls, if they do go into there, are just really, really powerful. And then just even then Archon form, if you choose to go over that over the force walls, it's a very good choice in itself. So that's some good. I like these bans, honestly, from both teams, but really just Modo Gaming looking at the draft and saying, you know what, that's going to pair well together. Let's take that off the board. Now the question is, though, what do they go into? I'm honestly thinking that you could go into a Lucio here if you go into some rotations, and then maybe you pick up your solo laner at this. No, you don't want to. You don't need to take that. You could probably just take some range melee. I don't know, honestly. They could just be fine with the solo Vala. Actually, ooh, they go with the Nazebo and they go with the Brightwing for the global. Okay. I was thinking Lucio because he has an AoE, and I like the fact that you can bump it up. I guess I just pump it up would be the correct term. I really like that. Brightwing does have the cooldown reduction through the 1 through 7. And then you do, well, you could go into cleanse at, at 7. So, I mean, overall, it's not a bad ban, or not a bad pickup at all. What are you going to be taking, though, on the side of Modo Gaming? Something like a Lunar wouldn't be bad here. And then you could pair that into... Gul'dan wouldn't be bad for your team. The Rhaegar should be fine working with that healing. I honestly think that'd be a good composition together. Looks like they go for a second global, and they go for the mage here. Okay. So they go for Li Ming. I like it. That is very good poke. Overall, I mean, she's just very strong. The resets can be very beneficial if they get the kills. There are a few squishy people on the side of Misfit Island. What are they going to be taking in this last slot? Nazebo's probably going to be their solo laner, I would assume, unless they do rotations between mid and bottom. That would stack him up quickly. Mono Diva. Interesting. I will say those Diva Halloween skins, quality, top notch. Either way, though, I don't know who to really give. I can't really give this over to one or the other. I mean, honestly, the global threat on the side of Modo Gaming is going to be really strong. But we'll find out as we are going to be going into this first matchup here. And on the left-hand side, we are going to have Modo Gaming with King Dingo on that Dahaka, Rage Masters on Li Ming, Sava will be on the Rhaegar, Strange Goat will be on that Falstead, and Gabe will be on the Garrosh. On the right-hand side, and this is the one that I need to really work on, it's Ashitaru? Nope, I'm probably not even saying that right. Ashihitaru? He, like, messaged a phonetic way before, but not going to be working out. And then we are going to also be having Ref on the ETC, Coldam on the Vala, Alarin on the Brightwing, and G Prime on that Nazebo. That is going to round out the team for Misfit Island. And interesting enough, we're actually going to be seeing Toad build from the Nazebo.
Battle commencing in
there was the 16 change on Spiders, but just overall, I really think that it's just such a strong talent. I don't know if it's worth giving over for Toads, but we'll find out as this game goes. I mean, it does stack into the late game. Val's still holding that level 1 as well as Falstead. Are we going to see him go into the Mage Hammer, or are we going to see him going into the auto attacks? Either way, though, we're going to have a little bit of a small engagement here in this mid lane. looks like we do have the toss onto Raph. I do not think he has a power slide. Gonna get dove on here a little bit. Actually, we'll have that power slide at the last second. We'll be able to get out of there without a problem. Now, King Dingo coming in this back lane. Gonna try and go ahead and get a ton under one of the members, but it's not gonna be working out. One thing we're gonna note really quickly on the side here is that Falstad is going into the mage build, so it looks like he will be going for those stacks onto the hammering. Vala gonna be falling there very early. First kill of the game gonna be going over to Modo Gaming. Now, I wouldn't be too surprised to see them go ahead and put their solo lane another... Actually, I would actually expect the Falstad to be going into the bottom lane with the team to... But I guess... because this is where probably you're going to have the most members, so it's, if you're going to be going for the if you're going auto attack build, this is when you go for the auto attack build, because you're just going to be solo laning. You're going to be in mid sitting there by yourself, so this is when you can stack. If you're going for these hammerings, you definitely should be in the bottom lane, you know, stacking up against the 3-man. Now, granted, if they're going to be doing these 4-man rotations, yeah, you'll get the value out of it, but maybe you should be counter-rotating with your team. And they actually dedicate 4 people into this top lane. Strange Goat playing in that safety part right by his gate, making sure that it doesn't go out too far there. Looks like they're going to go ahead and make this rotation, and actually, I think they're going to kind of catch Modo Gaming out of rotation a little bit. I think they were going to go ahead and try it themselves, but it looks like it's not going to work out. They're going to have to come back down here. Raph going to go ahead and hold this over. Quickly just peeking into the top lane really quickly. We have D.Va going up against King Dingo, and that's just going to be... It's probably going to be going over to Dahaka over time. Overall, he should be winning that lane, especially up against the D.Va. He's just got a lot more ways to just kind of live through this. Now, she does do a little bit of damage, but it's slow. We do once again have a few of these members in this mid lane. We do have Gabe rotating up, going to get knocked back by Raph. They're just going to be making these rotations and getting the experience. Now, this is the one thing that we do want to note here really quickly, is that if you aren't going to be making these correctly, I don't know, correctly seems very mean, but just they're making these very slow kind of, and they're missing out on a little bit of experience. It's not much at all. I mean, but at the same time, it is kind of putting them a little bit out of position here. They're not really prepared for a few of these fights, it seems. I mean, it seems a little bit scattered on the side of Misfit Island. At this point, especially going up against that Dahaka in the top lane, it's going to be a little difficult for that D.Va. We already see her Hearthing back there and going to have to start coming back from the core, which is going to give quite a bit of actually time for the Dahaka, who actually, Raph going to get that knockback, but Falstad going to go ahead and rotate in here. Actually, Lean going to go ahead and get that kill. That will be a reset. Going to go ahead and have Strange Goat barrel rolling in. Raph going to be the next one to fall here, and it looks like that's going to be 2 kills going over to Modo Gaming. Now, at the same time, we do have D.Va in this top lane going ahead and just kind of holding this back over. This will delay it at least for a few of the members to get into this mid lane to posture up for a defense here, as well as just making sure that they're not going to be getting too much value. But at the same time, in bottom lane, while all these members did get killed, they start to open up this lane, and the more they push into Misfit Island here, it's going to start to get really difficult for them. Now, do have a little bit of damage going out onto Gabe here. Unfortunately, it's not going to be confirming any sort of kill. He'll be able to probably tap well and then just go right back into the fight. And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. Now, quickly just peeking into the top lane, looks like we're going to have D.Va going up against the Dahaka. It's going to be just kind of back and forth there, but Dahaka going to go ahead and lane up a little bit. This will definitely confirm 7's 4. We actually have a toss onto G Prime over the gate. Looks like he'll just try and get the damage out, and he will be dying here. Dahaka burrowing into bottom at this point, actually leaving top. So they go ahead and they dedicate the 4-man into the bottom lane. Now, we do have D.Va currently rotating in mid, but Falstad is there for the defense. Plus, they already hold this back over. Now, Dahaka doesn't have a burrow for for another probably 40 seconds here. But at the same time, though, Falstad probably does have a flight. He can go into that top lane. He can stack up a little bit against that D.Va, maybe get a little bit of value against her. And that's exactly what we're going to see. We're going to see him fly right into the shrine. We're going to have Dahaka right in that mid lane. Going to go ahead and posture up for the potential grab on the Dragon Knight. But it looks like D.Va will go ahead and use self-destruct. Gonna zone away the Falstad here, and they go ahead and get that over. Now, in bottom lane, Rage Masters will be falling here, and they're going to go ahead and hold this over. And at this point, Misfit Island can potentially pick up a Dragon Knight. And it's early game, yes, and it could be doing a little bit of damage, but at the same time, the death timers are a little bit low. Currently, King Dingo going to drag that out a little bit, but at the same time, you have a couple of members diving onto him, going to get the pull. There will be the knockback, which will disengage it, and Coldam just trying to go ahead and capture this Dragon Knight. Raph just trying to block as best he can. He's going to go and actually delay this long enough for Coldam to go ahead and get it. The pole will not connect onto Raph. They actually get the kick onto King Dingo, which will save him from the kill. Probably that potentially could have happened. We actually do have a toss onto Raph here. He won't be able to get over the gate. They're currently trying to slide out. Zombie Wall will go out to separate a few of the members. Gabe going to take quite a bit of damage here, but not going to be falling. It looks like he will be... Nope, he won't be hearthing at all, actually, and they're going to go ahead and just rotate into bottom with this Dragon Knight and start to open up these lanes a little bit more. Now, the one thing I do want to note here, they did leave the well, so they do have that sustain in the mid lane, but at the same time, these shots on... Ooh, actually, very good zombie wall from G-Prime there, capturing the Haka, getting him a little bit low. He will tap well, so he will be back up to full in a few seconds here, but if they can open up this lane, this will be really, really strong for them on the side of... Misfit Island, mostly because of the fact that if you open this up, there's no way of just staying in the lane, sustaining, and just fighting up for these shrines. But either way, they won't be getting it. 10s are actually really, really close. Actually, they've just achieved on the side of Modo Gaming. Nazeebo going to go ahead and get some spiders out onto that well. It looks like they will be losing that. And I keep harping on it, but there's a really, really big factor with that in this matchup, because in bottom lane, that's your sustain. I mean, if you can stay in lane, you can fight over that point for quite some time. So we actually do have a toss onto Nazeebo into his own pit. He actually did have the blind on him from the isolation. We'll get the peel onto him and the kill. Do have a few of the members rotating away, though, at this point, trying to get out alive. Gabe will get the Ancestor healing. They are starting to chase him. They don't have 10s, and they're very close, though, on the side of Misfit Island. They're going to back off at this point, not going to be taking any more of the fight that they need to. But now that they have 10s, look to see them kind of snap in some of these pickups. We do have the Gargantuan Emerald Wind. That is going to be the big shot from the Diva, Mosh Pit from the ETC, and Strafe, as we're seeing from Coldam. On the side of Modo Gaming, we do have the Ancestor Healing, Mighty Gust, Isolation. Wave of Force actually was picked up preemptively, or I don't know if she was holding it. I honestly didn't look. But it definitely will counteract the Mosh a little bit, and then we also have Warlord's Challenge from Gabe here. Now, we do have a little bit of a chase on them. There will be the separation. They're going to go ahead and utilize the Gust from Falstad to make sure that Gabe gets out, and King Dingo going to be in this backline, going to be taking quite a bit of damage. Going to get the pull onto the ETC, separating a few of the members away. Going to pop out from this. Going to be taking quite a bit of damage onto Gabe, but he will be able to get out of here, and it looks like with just a few ultimates popped, this is going to be an even trade-off. No kills that we do currently have Falstad flying up into that top lane, going to posture up for that next Dragonite. And it looks like, actually, at this point, Misfit Island's going to just stay down here, and they said you left. Falstad's gone, so that's one less person to deal with. We're going to go ahead and just take this fort. Now, he did try and do the same thing in the top lane, but unfortunately, he is not as powerful as the 5-man. We do have a small rotation currently happening up into the top lane, but while we have this little bit of downtime, we can go ahead and just pop up some of the experience numbers as well as damage numbers, get that showing for everybody here. We do have Raph and Diva in this top lane currently. A lot of the members of Misfit Island just staying in that top area. Brightwing going to go ahead and Z in, going to get some vision here. We do currently have both tanks in the lane. Oopsie, excuse me. There we go, number 2. But it looks like they're going to go ahead and hold over bottom in the top lane. We currently have Strange Goat going up against that Diva, and just really checking in really quickly. Only 18 stacks on that Falstad for the Mage Hammer, so it's just, this is what I'm talking about. Into the late game, I think that the way that he's been laning and everything, the Falstad would have gotten a little bit more value from the auto attack build. But granted, I'm not the one playing the Falstad, so it's you get these different ideas, different picks. We currently have Raph trying to pick up the Dragonite here. Is not going to be working out. We do have a toss onto G-Prime separating from the team. The isolation will go out onto the ETC. Won't be able to help any of his members. Now, it did get cleansed off, I do believe. Actually, there was no cleanse picked up. I just believe it expired. Now, we do have Gabe taking quite a bit of damage. The Gust will funnel a few of the members back into the lane. There is a little bit of a separation. It looks like they're going to go ahead and make this clean disengage. Now, Diva will go ahead and try and pick up this Dragonite. It looks like she will be confirming it. They actually get a little bit of damage on the Rage Masters here. The cleanse does go out, and the Ancestral will be used as well here. Kick did go onto Savo, so they didn't interrupt the Ancestor healing in time, because I believe it would. But either way, they actually get a toss onto a Laren here, going to be taking quite a bit of damage, and right away just going to be burned down. Now, we do have a Mosh into a few of the members, but unfortunately, there's no follow-up damage. Coldam just working down that tower, and the Dragonite not able to do a whole lot of burst, and we do have a kick onto the Garish, which will separate him from the team. He could come in here for a flank. He does have the Warlord's Challenge, so maybe look to see him utilize that. No, they're just going to go ahead and make this rotation back off, and the Dragon Knight is just going to kick a few of the members away, and they're just going to try and open up this map for themselves on the side of Misfit Island. And this is a strong showing from them, especially being a little bit down here. They're being very aggressive with this Dragon Knight, and I absolutely love it. It's definitely something that you can do here, but they really need to utilize the last 15 seconds of this thing. They kind of worked down the gate a little bit here, and now they're going to be really using it as to body some of this damage. We do have Coldam getting pulled into the back. They're going to use Strafe, getting a lot of damage out. Cleanse was used on to Gabe there. We do have the well going down. Currently have the fort getting burned down, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see Modo Gaming losing this fort. And it looks like exactly that. They're going to go ahead and slowly close that experience gap. But at the same time, the one thing I want to note here, Dahaka has been split pushing in bottom lane the entire time. So he has been getting that global value. So yes, they are down a person, but they were probably sitting there saying, we're not going to be able to save this fort. We can only delay it. The best thing we can do, throw our Dahaka into the bottom lane, let him go ahead, soak up that experience, push up the lane, get us, keep that. It's a half level, but still, it's a level difference. And as well as the just experience difference. So as long as you can maintain and manage that, maybe into the late game, those 16 talents might come online, and that's really when your team starts to pop off here. And actually, Falstead opting Giant Killer. Okay. No, I guess... I'm perplexed because of the fact that typically with Mage build, you would go for the cooldown reductions on your tailwind, so that way you can throw up more mage hammers as long as you're playing in that backline. Because essentially what they've done is they've drafted 2 mages, at least with the build that they've currently gone with. The auto attack build doesn't mean that he can be in the front line, but he will have a little bit more damage here. Strange Go actually going to be getting caught out here. Does he have the Gust? He does have it for the disengaged flight going to be used. I don't believe they have a stun in time, so we will be able to get out of here, though Vala will have a bolt going after him. But the one thing I just wanted to harp on to this is that you get a cooldown reduction at 13 and 16 for your tailwinds, and then how they recharge abilities, and so that combination really goes well with the mage stat as it's just been named, because of the fact that you can literally just throw out those hammers consistently. But it's a weird combination of everything. Either way, we do have a dive in onto Gabe here. The Warlord's Challenge does go out. King Dingo actually going to be getting the pull on to Raph here. The Ancestor Healing did go out a little bit early there onto Gabe. It looks like he will be taking a separate path from the team. Actually going to be coming right back into them. Chain Heal going to go out. Do get the toss on to Diva here, but she's still in mech. It looks like that will be falling here. Gabe looks like he'll be falling as well. The other thing we have to note at this time is that Falsa is in the top lane during this entire engagement. There will be the Brightwing Z shifting in. The pull will go out on to Raph once again, but Rhaegar going to be falling during that entire engagement. We do have King Dingo popping back up. Will he be able to get out? The big shot will not be enough. Now, at the same time, the other thing we have to note here is, I was going to say that we've got a camp pushing this lane, but it really wasn't a huge push or anything. But it looks like they're going to go ahead and throw the Dahaka into the top lane. King Dingo going to go ahead and hold this over while Raph gets bottom. And at this point, they're just delaying time so they can get their healer and their main tank back up and running, so they can at least go in for a potential defense in this mid lane. Now, I do not believe Dahaka has Brush Shock, and I don't think Falstead has Flight, so it's not like they can just go into bottom lane. They're going to have to try and poke this out, or they're just going to have to give it over. I'm assuming it's just going to be a give over at this point, the way that they're posturing on the lanes. Excuse me, never mind. Falstead did have Flight. He did go into the bottom lane. So it looks like they're going to delay that a little bit more. Now, there is the 3-man currently coming down here. We do have a pull in from Gabe, but the rest of this team isn't here yet. And Rhaegar just arriving. Okay, going to be there as well. Not a big problem. We currently have a slow and stun on to the ETC, who will just get bodied there, and that's currently the tank down. Now, Coldam is going to get pulled in, but there isn't. Emerald Wind will separate a few of the members away here. Savile going in there and actually getting separated from the team. Gust going to be used, but it's not going to be enough. We actually have him being killed by Coldam. Rage Master is going to be falling as well to the Nazebo poison. Gabe's going to be dying as well, and I talk smack about it, but this Nazebo is doing work with these toads, and just his poison as well. I mean, that's something else we have to note here. At this point, though, I do want to note Coldan has gone over to the point, but at the same time, King Dingo's going to go ahead and jump onto this, as well as Strange Goat's going to go ahead and get the delay here. And they're just going to hold this over, and once again, they're going to buy enough time for their team to come back. But at the same time, the one thing that we have to note is that Misfit Island is doing a very good job of picking up camps. They're playing the map. They're making sure that their lanes are pushed up. They're doing a very good job of just not chasing after these few heroes that are just delaying this. They're going to say, yeah, we have to rotate into top. Let's push it back. You know, we have to rotate into bottom. Let's push it back and also get the siege camp. So they have to respond to it. That's going to delay them onto this point a little bit here. Now, the one thing we're going to check really quickly, we currently have Dahaka on a 20-second cooldown. Looks like both of these heroes are going to have a 20-second cooldown. They could potentially go in for the channel on this. They should have enough time. You can actually get the Dragonite before you can get these altars, but unfortunately, they did not go for it, and Dahaka will capture this over. But that is one thing. If the Dahaka got to the point, the exact same moment Brightwing started channeling, you would win it over because of the way that the timing works. It's faster to channel the Dragonite than it is to channel the altar. Nope, I believe I actually have that backwards. Either way, currently, though, have just a small engagement happening here in this bottom lane. It's actually a very big engagement. Pretty much whoever wins this over, I wouldn't be too surprised to see really taking the game. This is when the Dragonite scales and everything. We do have a taunt on to the ETC, taking quite a bit of damage here. Gonna be able to get out of there. Not a problem. The Ancestor Healing does go out on to Li Ming. Now, the Gust did go for the disengagement at the same time. Looks like we will have the Dahaka going ahead and brush talking into top lane. D.Va going to try and use the rush down to get to this point. Will they be able to get the Dragonite in time? No, Dahaka will go ahead and cancel it out. I do believe I did have it backwards before. It was faster to channel the altar. So, either way, looks like they're going to go ahead and just hold this bottom too. And Modo Gaming just doing some interesting stuff into this late game, really being an absolute pain in the butt for Misfit Island. And they go ahead, they disengage right away from this chase. Looks like we do have Gabe taking quite a bit of damage here. Raph body blocking, and that will be the kill on to Garrosh. And I wouldn't be too surprised to see this is exactly when they go for that Dragonite. We currently have Vala going ahead and rotating into bottom. I wouldn't be too surprised to see D.Va going to that top lane potentially. Yes, she will use her boosters to get up there a little bit quicker, and they're going to go ahead and dedicate the 3-man into this lane. Now, King Dingo and Rage Master is taking a risky move onto this. It looks like it will be scouted out by a few members of Misfit Island here. But they're not. They're going to go ahead and steal this over, and it's going to go straight to them. So overall, that is just going to be a free Dragonite once again. King Dingo is going to be in that bottom lane. He's going to delay it out. And honestly, if they get to 20s, you have to consider Apex Predator and Epic Mount. And that is just, those are two talents that you do not want to deal with. The cooldown reduction, I believe 15 seconds onto both of those globals is just, it's an absolute nightmare to deal with. Falstead, once again, going into that top lane. They go for the channel, but unfortunately Falstead's already up there, and they're going to be able to pick that up. Now, he doesn't have flight. The question is, does he Hearth and try and get out? Because it looks like they're going to really try and get onto him. He has the Gust, so they go ahead and push him back for the disengage. We currently have D.Va jiving in here, trying to get a little bit of damage out. Meanwhile, though, in mid lane, we do have Dahaka soaking up that experience. Going to probably work his way down to that bottom lane. We do have a polymorph on to Gabe. He looks like he will challenge all of the members, but it looks like he will be dying as well. He got a 4-man stun there, but unfortunately, there really wasn't anything he can do. Excuse me, I believe it's 5-man stun. But at the same time, we currently have the Dahaka in the bottom lane, just delaying this out a little bit longer. Brightwing's going to be in that top, going to capture that as well. I wouldn't be too surprised to see just a phase shift in on Raph or Koldan once they get this Dragonite, but it looks like this should be confirmed over. I really don't expect them to be extra. We currently have Strange Goat going on to the point. It looks like ETC won't be there. And this has just become like a back and forth, like just game of tag with these shrine. Now, the question is, like, whoever gets these Dragonites, we actually currently have quite a bit of damage going out onto the Li Ming, and she will be falling here. There was the flight from Falstead. Looks like he was just utilizing it to get out of there. Going to get a hammering out onto this D.Va. Going to be doing a little bit of damage now. King Dingo in a really bad position, but he does have a little bit of that just speed up. We do actually have the blink in from Raph. King Dingo going to pop the essence, but he will be dying here. And with that, I think they finally can confirm this over. Savo going to probably run down here and try and get the altar. No, I don't think they have the time for it, and it looks like that will be picked up. Now, they delayed this so long that we're finally at 20s. That's the other thing that we have to note here. That is just absolutely insane. The last time I think there was a Dragon, it was around like level like 13, 14. I want to say that's right when it ended. So this has been going back and forth for quite some time now. and we're looking at about a 19-minute Dragonite, so this thing does do quite a bit of damage. They have the Diva in here currently, so that is probably the best choice. If the Dragonite does die and is in a bad position, they can definitely utilize those kind of 2 health bars. And we do have a toss here onto Raph, going to be taking quite a bit of damage. Going to have that power slide out, going to be able to get out fine. The kick is going to go on to Gabe here, separating him from just this little bit of engagement. They're going to go ahead and just easily Swiss cheese over this heap. And I wouldn't be too surprised to see them walk onto the core, maybe? The Hawk is currently down. This is their fight to take. Strange Goat going to get kicked here, going to separate him from the team. Currently going to start working down those shields. They are going to start going down very quickly, especially with Nazebo here doing so much damage. We do have a toss onto Alarian, but it looks like that might not be enough. The Emerald Wind does go out. The Dragonite does have full health here, and it looks like this is going to be game number 1 going over to Misfit Island. GG, well played. Alrighty, and welcome back. Hello, everybody. Let's go ahead and take a peek at some of these stats here while I just update something for the next matchup. Oh boy, these games. That was a phenomenal first game. I absolutely loved it. Right side. Okay. Go ahead and update that. So we can just talk about these numbers really quickly, and then we'll set up the next lobby for game number 2. So this is the one thing I wanted to talk about. So you have the cooldown Ares Gust. Yes, this is great. There is also you can take at 13, there's another talent. Now, Giant Killer works well with the level 1 Seasoned Marksman, and this is all my opinion. I see the purpose for the Giant Killer. There was the Diva and the ETC, but if you're going into this mage build to begin with, the cooldown reduction at 13 and 16 are so strong for you as that false with those damage. I mean, I think it was like the last I checked, it was around like 40 stacks. So either way, you're doing 60 plus damage, and then just the cooldown reduction, and then you also have the burst that goes out from the boomerang. So it's a lot of these things that can be comboed together, and it's just, I see the purpose for Giant Killer, but I don't think it works with the overall the build. And not to just like harp on Strange Go, it's just something I've noticed, and it's just something that I wanted to talk about because I mentioned it during draft a little bit. And I actually really like the Spider Colony being picked up here to reduce the cooldown for the Zombie Wall, as well as the Plague of Toads, which goes well with the overall. I mean, this talent change really just, I mean, it put a lot of people into a Nazebo build, or into a Toad build. I mean, before it was like you go Spiders or you go Toads if there are a bunch of tanks, but overall, you typically just saw Spiders. Either way, phenomenal first game out of both teams. But let's go ahead, take that away, and we're going to get set up for game number 2 here. We're going to be going into Tomb of the Spider Queen. Little bit of a technical difficulty, but we're going to be going into this. The only way to really get out of the draft is just to completely exit out of the game, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and open up this page 2, so at least the game will get going. And I apologize. I was about to say, like, a Probius? No way were we about to get a Probius. I mean, I would have been absolutely ecstatic for a Probius, but it's not something we're going to be getting, unfortunately. But it looks like we're just going to have to go ahead and remake lobby really quick. You'll hear some background noise here as I... Strange Goat, custom game. Okay. Looks like they already went ahead and remake it. Ref, please. Oh, okay, cool. I'm lobby host. Let me just run through here and make sure everything's cool. Team 2, Team 1, Salvo, Alarian got that. Okay. Team's ready. Going. Alright, we're going to be going back into this. I wouldn't be too surprised to see them just burn right through the draft here. Yep. Yeah, it looks like they're going to go ahead and just hold on the exact same picks here. So either way, we'll just be able to burn through this really quickly. And in the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and say, hi, Twitch chat. How are you? How is everybody doing in there? It's good to see everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I don't know why you cannot barely hear me. I've gone back and forth with audio issues. I literally have my setup at 50, outputting at 100. I've tried 100, outputting at like 120. I've tested it at the current like volumes I have, so it should be editable enough where you can go up or down and balance it out. Just make sure you're checking your own system volume for, you know, Chrome or whatever browser you're using, because that needs to be bumped too, and just that could be it. Just overall your system sound, because I couldn't tell you why I'd be quiet at this point. I've checked it on like various different ways, and it's always like, you're too quiet, and it's like I've had 6 different people tell me different. So either way, we're into this game, so let's go ahead, and it looks like we're going to be banning out a Nazebo here. Modo Gaming does not want to deal with that Nazebo, and for a good reason, though, because the stacking was really, really good into the late game. It was absolutely devastating as we progressed further and further, and then on a map like this where we actually do have a top to mid rotation, he's something that you do not want to deal with. I think he's an absolute nightmare on in a map like this, because of the fact that he stacks so quickly, and he gets a ton of value. So not a bad idea here, and that ETC was just very strong too. So I'm really, really good bans coming out from Modo Gaming here. The question though, what are we going to be getting from Misfit Island? Grandmane's not a bad choice. I'm fearing some other things. I'm fearing Lunaras. I'm fearing Illidan's. But the thing is, at the same time, Brightwing does kind of counter that. They really kind of don't have a lot of engage for any sort of dive. It doesn't look like they'd be diving, to be honest. Realistically, if I was drafting this on the side of Modo Gaming, I would go into some wave clear. And we talked about Diablo, but Kel'Thuzad? That's really interesting. Kel'Thuzad here. Like, he has a lot of good burst, but overall, as a mage, I don't know, like... He's like the new hotness, and everyone loves him, but like I still, like, on a map like this, I'm just like, pick Kael'thas, Gul'dan, or Jaina. Like, they're so strong here. They have engaged with the Diablo, but I'm just... And they have Kel'Thuzad. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm seeing it from Modo Gaming. Like, I don't know where the Tassadar comes in here. Now on the side though of Misfit Island, they're gonna need their solo lane. Okay, so there's their wave clear for Gul'dan, and then do you just go in for the Diva once again? Okay, so they're gonna probably be putting her into that solo lane, as we did see in the last matchup.
Our time has come.
I don't get the Tassadar. Like, I'm looking at Modo Gaming's draft, and I'm unsure, like... That's a lot of they're relying a lot on that Kel'Thuzad. And on the side of Misfit Island, I mean, it's just a well-rounded draft for this map. So not to be like play favoritism here, but it's just overall, I really think Misfit Island's holding over the draft here. Either way, though, we're going to be having a pretty good matchup here. We'll go ahead and introduce the teams as we get into the map. Try and go ahead and do that just with the icons. Either way, this is going to be quite the matchup. I'm really, really excited about this. The Artanis is a little surprising. Now, the blind at 10 is going to be good against the Vala, but I'm not too sure about it. Either way, though, we're going to be going into this matchup. So on the left-hand side, we are going to be having Modo Gaming with Savo on the Tassadar, Strange Goat on the Stukov. We do have Rage Masters on the Kel'Thuzad. King Dingo will be on that Diablo, and Gabe is going to go ahead and be on the Artanis. Now on the right-hand side, we're gonna have Misfit Island with Wrath on that Garrosh, Alaren on the Brightwing. We're gonna go ahead and have G Prime on the Gul'dan. Kol'dan will be on the Vala, and Citru will be on the Diva. So let's go ahead and see this first matchup. Looks like they're going to go ahead and just put their D.Va straight into bottom lane. They're not going to worry about this initial matchup here. They're just going to go ahead and say, it's alright, it's whatever. No, it's just going to be a straight. They do get a little bit of the chains out onto Raph here from Rage Masters. And then we're going to have the Artanis Gabe going up against D.Va, I believe a Citru down in bottom lane. And then we're going to have a 4-man rotation between the rest of the teams into top and mid here. They're going to be trying to slow down this rotation with Rage Masters there as well as Strange Goat. But at the same time, the wave clear from Misfit Island here is so quick that they might as well dedicate one to top and put, you know, a couple in the rest in mid or something, you know, like do a 2-2-1 or something. And just, I don't know if they're going to be able to keep pace with these rotations because of how quickly they're going to be happening. And Tassadar just staying in top should be fine himself. So that's why I was saying maybe just leave one in top. And then we actually have a dive. Do have a pull onto King Dingo. They're going to get tossed over, but looks like Rage Master's taking quite a bit of damage. They're going to get shielded from Tassadar. Will be able to tap well. Gabe going to be rotating up from that bottom lane as well. Going to get a swap onto G Prime here. Going to get dashed in from King Dingo. Going to get overpowered as well, and that's going to be the kill onto Gul'dan. So first kill of the game going to be going over to Modo Gaming. Now Savo in this top lane going to be able to utilize the Oracle to get the vision there. Not going to get tossed because he did have, I think it was either the minion or just he got the phase shift in time. We do have the rest of the team currently coming up here, though. Going to be able to just push up this lane a little bit further. But at the same time, I mean, these teams are just going to be working towards getting their higher level talent tiers as well as just getting to 60 gems. Excuse me, 50 gems. Now, it is a little bit higher on the side of Modo Gaming here, and actually these rotations aren't working out for them too much. Now, that kill didn't get them a huge amount of experience difference, but it did slow down these rotations a little bit, definitely hindering them a little bit, and also just kind of giving over the experience to Modo Gaming just a tad. Now, at the same time, though, Misfit Island, we have seen into these late games, they definitely are quite powerful, so we have to watch for that. Now, we do have quite a bit of damage going out from this kill. Zod toss is going to go out onto King Dingo, separating him from the team, just making sure that this disengage does happen. And at this point, though, we do have Artanis currently going into this siege camp in bottom lane while he did have the time while Deep was backing there. Going to go ahead and have that extra pressure pushing up in the lanes. Rage Master's going to go ahead and get pulled in. Not going to get tossed, though. We do have a toss onto King Dingo. Going to get body blocked by a few people, but there is the silence from Stukov. And actually, noting really quickly, he did go for the range at level 1, which is going to go ahead and keep him away from that garage. Typically, it's something that we do see from Stukov players going into garages. It keeps them further away from getting tossed. It interrupts. They can go ahead and use that lurking arm. At the same time, though, you are giving up the spread, the AoE, and it really starts to block gates. And on a map like this where the push is very powerful, that AoE could be very useful in a Webweaver push. Really quickly, just talking on some of these level 1 questing talents or early game questing talents, we do have Kilfazad, just his base talent. Looks like he'll be about halfway through those. We do have a little bit of engage here. Gabe going to go ahead and get on to Gul'dan, getting a huge swap. Going to go ahead and actually going to get tossed as well. We do have a Brightwing phase shifting in here. Do have a D.Va doing quite a bit here. There is the D.Va bomb utilized. They're going to go ahead and disengage from this and back off. Now, the one thing I want to note here is just the swap once again from Gabe. Just these godlight swaps. And they're going to get a kill onto Brightwing. Now, at the same time, I don't believe they've dropped too many of the gems on the side of Misfit Island. But at the same time, they piggy banked on a few of their members. So if they do lose, you know, if Raph does die here, they're gonna be losing out on a hefty amount of wallet there. They're gonna go ahead and looks like they're gonna try and turn in. There is the phase shift in from Brightwing, which will bring her into a 4-man engage here. And actually looks like Alaren could potentially be dying as soon as he spawned. Raph gonna be falling as well. That's gonna be 33 gems falling. G Prime looking like he wants those gems, but unfortunately they're gonna be zoned away and he will not be able to pick those up. Gonna try and get another Fel Flame in here and just stack that up as well. So that's gonna be the majority of the gems falling for Misfit Island here very early in this game. Now we do have Web Weavers currently happening. Ooh, we actually have a dive in from King Dingo. The overpower will be there, and that's going to be the Gul'dan dying right before these Web Weavers. That is the best pickup that Modo Gaming can get. The Fel Flame from Gul'dan, as he's been stacking since level 1, is very, very powerful on this map, and we talk about wave clear and draft, and this is the situation where you want that Gul'dan. You want him to be clearing out these web weavers. He does have very good poke. He has very good just the corruption on top of it as well. It's just overall, Gul'dan is a very, very good defender for this map, and they don't have him, so I would like to see them get a little aggressive on the side of Modo Gaming, and in bottom lane we currently do have that. Mid lane looks like it's just going to get pushed back right away, but top, I'm surprised that they're letting this go over. Top lane is your boss lane. This is win condition. This is when so many things happen and you can realistically lose out on the game because of the fact that they can take boss and it's just going to be pushing onto a keep. I don't think they're going to be losing the fort here, but it's going to be quite low. Looks like we will have a little bit of a combo going out from Rage Masters. Going to go ahead and just work closer towards getting that overall baseline ability stacked up really early here, and if he can finish that, that's going to be very, very powerful for them, especially as they hit these 10 spikes. And it looks like they're just going to go ahead and back off here. Now, on the side of Misfit Island, they do have enough return in. If they can get this before 10s, this will be very beneficial for them here. Excuse me, before Modo Gaming gets 10s, but it looks like there's a little bit of engagement here. It's not, it's both teams, like, they want to fight, but they're also kind of disengaged, and they're playing very, very safe. They don't want to be losing out here. We do have a turn in from D.Va, but it won't be interrupted by the Diablo Fire Stomp in time. This is going to be 12 more, I believe, turned in. A huge swap going out onto Gul'dan, but unfortunately no follow-up. We actually do have a toss onto him, and Gabe's actually going to be getting tossed from, I believe, Raft there, which actually put him closer to Gul'dan. But all in all, we actually ended up having the Kel'Thuzad getting that kill. Either way, though, we have King Dingo driving in here, getting so much damage. We currently have Garrosh falling, and as will be D.Va falling as well, and that is the majority of the rest of their gems falling here. And they don't have enough return in, but they are quite close on the side of Modo Gaming, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see them push up their lanes here, collect a few more gems, and go for that turn in. And that's going to be a good time for them. At this point, we do have the rest of Misfit Island currently popping back up from death, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and actually focus down Gul'dan here, trying to get another staggered death. It looks like they're going to body block, and they're going to go ahead and do that, and this is what's that force wall. He basically, Fala had two choices. Walk on the other side of the force wall and get killed, or walk on the other side of the force wall and just make a longer rotation. Because there was the Kel'Thuzad ultimate there, I believe the Shadow Fissure is the name. Yes. Is going to be just on the other side of that. And off of that, they're going to go ahead and get a turn in 2 here. So it looks like this is just a lot of damage coming out. Now, we currently have Gabe going up against a Citru down here, or Citaru. I'm curious to see who actually wins over this fight. No, it's going to be given over to Gabe here. The rest of the team did start to rotate down. They could have potentially gone for that pick. And it looks like they're going to be posturing themselves for this bottom lane push. They rotate Stukov into mid. I'm confused. I understand if you want to soak here, but you can just stack up as a 5-manning and just snowball down this lane, because potentially Stukov could get picked off there. He does scout out the rotation, yes, but he is currently separated from his team. Gabe actually going to be getting tossed away here further. There is the taunt that goes out. Currently so much damage going out from so many of his members. There was a Horrify at one point as well here. The Flailing Swipe going for just a little bit of a disengage, or I don't even know what, just pushing them with the team, but they are going to go ahead and pick up 3 kills here, only losing Artana, 4 kills here, and Web Weavers are still barreling down these lanes. Top lane stacked up so much with 2 waves of minions, as well as this Web Weaver, and bottom lane currently just being pushed in by the 4-man, and this is getting very hairy for Misfit Island. Now, granted, they are coming back from death here. A few ultimates are available. They can just defend this, but do we see them actually losing the keep? This could potentially be an overextension. We do have a force wall, which will burn down the mech for D.Va here. Looks like they are going to start chasing this down, and it looks like they will save their keep as well. Force wall going to go up, buy them a little bit of time, just making that chase a little bit harder for Misfit Island. Now, at the same time, top lane getting pinged as well. Just you can see all those minions stacking up, as well as those are a lot of gems that they can utilize for a tournament. Now, at the same time, they haven't gotten one. They have 12 gems. They just need to get those 12 in, but it is separated between so many of the members of Misfit Island. But just this is a completely different game from Modo Gaming. They've They've really shown a lot of control in this game, only showing 1 death, and that was during that last engagement. Just really strong play from them overall. Now, we can, into the late game, we can definitely have, this is the rubber band game. We do have the option for Misfit Island to come back in this entire series. We do have a swap here on to Cold Dam is actually going to be getting killed here, as well as the Brightwing. So I was talking about them kind of coming back here, and they fought down a talent here, and unfortunately that wasn't the reason for the demise, but they definitely just, that huge swap at the start of it was just a great engage from Modo Gaming. It looks like they go ahead and they just disengage from this fight. They walk up to the boss and they say, what are you going to do about it? There is no Horrify at this point. I believe it was used during that last little skirmish. They don't have an Emerald Wind, obviously, because the Brightwing is dead, so it's just the boss control on the side of Misfit Island is non-existent. So they're going to go ahead and steal over this boss. It will be pushing onto this top keep. They need 15 more gems for a turn-in, so I wouldn't be expecting them to... Maybe they just go for a mid-push here while they respond in the top lane. They're currently trying to get a turn-in off of this. It looks like it will be delayed out by Tassadar. King Dingo currently coming in here. Raph in a little bit of a position, a little bit of a bad position. There is actually a force wall put up as well. It looks like he will be falling, trying to get the damage reduction from the Diva. Swap does go out, but it does not connect. And it looks like the boss will be responded to by a few of the members. They did lose the Garrosh during that. They probably will be saving their keep at this point, but they also deny the turn-in, which is very, very big. They're not letting Misfit Island have any sort of lane control. They're not taking any pressure off of them. They're just keeping this consistent pushback. The lanes have just been always in favor of Modo Gaming at this point. Misfit Island has just been playing on the back foot. We actually have a pull in onto Gul'dan here. There is a force wall, and that is going to be him getting bodied. There is a swap here onto Gul'dan as well. G-Prime taking quite a bit of damage. There is the Horrify that did go out. Going to be taking a ton of damage and getting bodied himself. And we do have Savo going to actually separating Raph from a few of the members. Is there a swap from Gabe? Actually going to get tossed here from Raph himself. Do have the Kel'Thuzad getting quite a bit of damage here. And I was saying, you know, I was talking smack about him. There actually is an Apocalypse that goes out as well. Swap does go on to the Diva, and that's going to be a few gems falling here. Alaire going to go ahead and utilize that Emerald Wing. Not going to be able to get that onto anyone here. Raph going to pick up a few gems. Now, at the same time, we currently have this bottom lane getting pushed in by the siege camp here. And the other thing that I want to note, during all this time, they have been picking up gems. So they can go ahead and back off. If they get a pick here, it looks like they're going to be going into Cold Dam. Does try and get the Rain of Vengeance out here. Gets it onto a few of the members, but it looks like this is going to be Vala falling once again. There is going to be a swap here onto G-Prime, and they just combo off of the Vala and the Gul'dan once again. And it looks like they're going to be walking into core with these Siege Giants. 20 seconds, it's doable. It's definitely doable here. The question is just if they have enough time or mana. I just looked over at Kel'Thuzad here. They are starting to defend this, buying a little bit of time for Vala. She only needs 5 more seconds here. They're going to be fighting underneath the core. The Diva does go out. We do actually have, though, Diva being killed. The Mecha Explosion will hit a few of the members. Vala back now at this point. Going to try and get a little bit of the burst out, but currently have Garrosh falling here. Looks like this core is going to be falling. We do have the Horrify Dog go out. The Emerald Wind will displace them once again. Healing does go out from Stukov, and this looks like it's going to be the core falling. And that is going to be the second game going over to Modo Gaming. GG, well played.